Hey guys, I finally get to talk about the new Scout. Harvester specifically is what I'm going to focus on today. But if you haven't seen the new Scout, which is an old school company that the name, I should say, used to be part of International, and they made some super cool off-road SUVs and a few two-door trucks back in the day. My brother had them. They're really cool. Great history, kind of like the Bronco. Well, anyhow, the brand is coming back underneath the Volkswagen Group. And this is, in my opinion, the coolest electric vehicle and plug-in hybrid option I've seen yet. If you see some of the cues on this, and I'm going to share in a minute, you can see where some of the design cues come from. But generally speaking, I think these guys are going to hit a home run. So let's get into this. All right, guys, this is it. So when you first look at this thing, look at some of these design cues. Look at the body lines, front end, back end, especially on the truck, and tell me what it reminds you of if you're in the market for an EV, especially right there. Boom. Does this not remind you of a Rivian R1T? I see so much of the side of the design, the front end, everything. But in my opinion, I think this looks way better. The front end, I also see a little Bronco-esque theme in this. Gas, I don't even care if this thing's electric or gas. This thing just looks incredible. And you don't see many of a four-door SUVs in a traditional SUV format with the spare on the back. I think that looks super cool too. I believe this thing comes with 35-inch tires. Look at the pricing on this though. Early model starting at 50 with available incentives. Going to be available 2027. Going to be starting building these in less than 2 years from now down in South Carolina. But you can see a lot of the carryover from the Rivian design. They also shared some of the software VW did. From Rivian. So, it's a lot of these electric vehicle startup companies, they do share a lot of this stuff. But today, specifically, what I want to talk about is not the electric version of these. I want to talk about the range extender version of these. If you're not familiar with that term, plug-in hybrid's another term, PHEV, plug-in hybrid electric vehicle. They're making a version of this thing called the Harvester, which is going to have a gasoline engine that the engine is there simply as a generator to charge the batteries in the motor, exactly like what Ram is coming out with the Ramcharger. So for those people that use a truck and need range and don't like the range anxiety of, say, 150 miles or whatever it is when you use a truck as a truck, you're not going to have that issue with this. I'm trying to find out the specifics on the powertrain they're using. My guess it's going to be something sort of lightweight and efficient. But here's some things I did want to kind of focus on today. If we look at some of the specs on this thing, I'm going to go to the truck. It's called the Terra. Number one, I like this front end. This grill looks so sweet. But I want to show you guys something here that kind of caught my eye, is the size of this thing. Where is this at? Oh, check this out. Ladder frame construction, so like a traditional pickup truck. You can tell IFS front and rear. You kind of see the ladders there for the frame. Battery looks pretty huge. This is not the Harvester edition because you'd see a motor stacked up somewhere. Not seeing much you can really reveal there. But what I did want to show you, I like this. It's got the little cue right there where you can put your foot to get in the tailgate in the bed, just like the Ford and GM. But check out these dimensions. If this is accurate, number one, the ground clearance is really good. Height, very similar to a full-size truck. But check out the width. So they don't give you any real specifics on this. Is this the width including the wheels, or is it at the mirrors? Because if this is at the wheels, this thing's going to have more width than an F-150 Raptor by a long shot. But if this is the outside of the mirrors, I calculate it's about 4 inches shorter. Let's see, I'll show you here. I just pulled this up just a second ago. If we go to Super Crew, where are you at? Super Crew width. Right here. Width including mirrors, 95 inches wide versus 91. So this is more, maybe call it like a mid-size truck. But then this is where things get more weird. Look at the wheelbase, 148.6 inches wheelbase. Now let's compare that to an F-150 Raptor. Go to a Super Crew with the 5.5-foot box, 145 inches. So this has got 3 more inches of wheelbase than an F-150 Raptor and very similar width. I'm wondering if this thing is almost more full-size instead of a mid-size pickup truck. And then we look at the the cab to bumper. It's a very interesting way of how they're dimensioning these trucks, but the overall length is very half-ton lengthwise. And if you look at this, you'd say, is this a 6-foot box? The way you look at this, 71.7 inches is just shy of a 6-foot box. So I'm not entirely sure what they've got going on there, but regardless, dimensionally, it's going to be somewhere between a midsize and a full-size truck. But here's something I found on Inside EVs. Inside EVs is tracking the builds. Now check out that view of the Traveler. That is awesome. Looks so good. They've already gotten a great response to this. 81% of the people that have ordered the Scout have opted for the Harvester range extended version. So that tells you the people that are going after these EVs and trucks and SUVs, they don't want just a straight electric vehicle, which is great because I think a lot of Americans have been saying this for a while. But then they kind of break down some of the early reservations, and this is an update as of 2 days ago. 80.6% electric plus gas range extender. Only 19% of the people of the orders were for electric only. This is interesting, guys. This is a car company. It's a new company making electric, but also range extender version. If this is the future of electric SUVs and trucks, this is telling me we're going to see much more of these than just the Scout or the Ram Charger. But check out this. Of that, 60% of the people wanted the SUV. And then when we get into this, how many people wanted a bench seat? How many people wanted a heavy-duty winch? Which is surprisingly, 26% of the people wanted a heavy-duty winch. That's pretty darn cool. But this is the big one I really want to focus on. Currently, do you own an EV? As expected, when people order electric vehicles, you're not surprised that they came from a Tesla, Rivian, or Lucid, something like this. Only 30% of the people that put reservations on currently own an EV. 45% said no. And it talks about the top 10 states: California, Texas, Florida, Colorado, Arizona, Washington, Pennsylvania, South Carolina, Georgia, North Carolina. So Carolinas, I'm not surprised. This is where their headquarters and some of their manufacturing is going to be set up. But Texas is kind of interesting. Colorado, cold weather, zaps the battery. This is interesting. I think this truck is going to be an SUV, is going to be a hit. I'm super excited about it. This is an article kind of talking about Scout Motors will use the Rivian VW software and architecture. I haven't been able to find out any information on this powertrain. Are they going to use a 2-liter turbo? Are they going to use a some sort of just standard 6-cylinder engine? Let's see. Doesn't talk about this. If you look at the interior too, if you haven't had a chance, this is incredible. This is where I feel like it looks very, very much like a Rivian. I've driven a few Rivians and they're awesome vehicles. The interior is like phenomenal. Check this out. I just think it's awesome. They're going to do well. And I feel like we're going to start seeing more and more electric vehicles just like this that are range extenders. And man, if I can get 8,000-9,000 pounds of towing capacity and have a 3.5 second 0 to 60, and you could plug it in with solar, you could fill it up with gas. As I've said before, anytime where I can have multiple options of propulsion, electric, solar, gas, man, give me all the options. I love it. I think this thing is sweet. I think the truck looks great. I think the SUV looks great. I'm excited for this one. And what's cool is I'm hoping this will speed up Ram to getting their Ramcharger in the market, because now they got a pretty serious competitor. I'll be curious to see where's Ford and where is General Motors on a range extending pickup truck. Right now, neither of them are offering it. I bet you something's coming. Anyhow, I hope you guys enjoy this video. Sorry for getting this out a little bit late, but if you do, leave some comments down below. I'm curious to see what your guys' thoughts. If you were going to order one of these, would you get the range extended Harvester version? Do you like the Ramcharger more? Just curious, leave your comments down below. Thanks for watching.